What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Really do appreciate you being here. Now, if you've clicked on this because you're wanting to know how the heck do people sell DVDs and make a profit, because there's been a lot of questions that I've been getting is how are people selling DVDs from $4, $6, $12, even up to $20 and actually making a profit? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to take you through a couple of scenarios using my own data of the stuff that I've been selling, but we're also going to break down some of the numbers to help you understand what does it actually cost to send these DVDs, what does it cost to actually sell these DVDs, all that jazz. So let's dive in. Okay, so right in front of me, we have a couple of different scenarios. We have scenario 1, we have scenario 2, and we have scenario 3. Now, essentially what I want to take you through today is a breakdown of these. Now, these scenarios are actually my real life data that I've taken over the last almost 2 years. And the three scenarios are essentially this. Scenario 1, which is up here, is these are all the amount of DVDs that I've sold since starting reselling. 936 of them. There's about $20,000, 852 bucks worth of revenue there. Average cost of good for these DVDs was around $2.56, and ASP worked out to be about $22.28, meaning that's the average sale price that I've been able to sell majority of my DVDs for. And on average, it's taken around 63 days to sell, to actually, after listing, how long did it take to sell? Now, the other scenario is scenario number 2. This is DVDs that I've sold that are less than $19.97, but greater than $13. And here, I've done 181 of those. Revenue was $2,922. Average cost of good was $1.47. ASP being around $16, and time to sell was around 59 days. And then scenario 3 is essentially anything that I have sold in terms of DVDs. This also includes Blu-rays. That was less than $12.97. So there's been about 467 of these. There's been about $4,488 worth. And average cost of good was around 95 cents. And average sale price worked out to be about $9.61. Also, the average time to sell was 69 days. So still staying between that 60 to 70 day range. That's the three scenarios. This is my own data. I've taken this from the last 2 years almost, and that's how I've been, I guess, operating my business. Now, we're going to dive into breaking this down of what profit have I actually made from these different scenarios. And number one is this. You can see scenario 1, I've got the breakdown here, and I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to take you through it so you can see how much I have made. So at this point, if there wasn't any costs and I've sold them all, for scenario number 1, which is basically average sale price around $22.28, I would have made $20,000, $20,852 actually. But there's fees, right? And when it comes to fees, we have to take into account, there's promotion fees, there's fees around, depending on how you've got your store set up, if you've got savings or not. But on average, it works out to be about 17%, I find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 17% times this much, 0.17, works out to be $3,544 worth of fee expense, right? And then we've got bubble mailers and sleeves. Now, I use bubble mailers and sleeves to send my items. These are being sent untracked. Anything under $30, I usually send untracked. And I've got a whole nother video of how I do this. If you want to see that, you can jump over there. It's also in the description below. I will be doing an update on this on how you can save some money, because I have recently changed to some different bubble mailers. Regardless, a bubble mailer, which is basically a padded little letter envelope, and I also use a plastic sleeve. All this is in the description below. Works out to be about 27 cents per DVD. So if we go ahead and do 27 times 936, cost of that was $252. Now, for when it comes to postage, I send these with stamps, untracked. On average, they're usually $2.20. If they're below 125 grams, you may have to pay a little bit more, meaning $3.30 if it is a heavier, DVD, or if it's got multiple discs. But on average, it is $2.20. So we're going to go $2.20 times the amount sold, 936. And then the cost of all the goods was essentially, in this case, we've purchased 936 times $2.56. That's $2,396 in cost of goods. Total expenses comes to $8,253. And as you can see right here, the total profit works out to be about $12,600 back into my pocket. And that's how it happens. Now, that's for a higher ASP. So let's do exactly the same, but for a lower ASP. This time we're going to do it for $16, right? We're going to do the same thing, 17%, just to keep it real so you can see it. Bubble mailers basically equals 0.27 times Total sold, 181. Postage stamps equals $2.20 times 181. And then cost of goods works out to be 181 times $1.47. So in this case, total expenses was $1,209 and total profit was only $1,712. Still not too bad. And then the final scenario is anything under $12.97, which most of my DVDs I sell for $9.97. In this case, it's averaged out to be about $9.61. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do this times 0.17. We'll do bubble mailers. So we've sold 467 times $2.20. We've done, oops, sorry, that's not $2.30. It's meant to be 0.27. All right, 27 cents. We've then done, 467 times $2.20. And then cost of all goods worked out to be 95 cents times 467. There you go. Total expenses for this was $2,360. Total profit being $2,127. Now, as I said before, these on average are moving anywhere between basically 60 to 70 days. So when you list something, expect it to move. It could take longer. This is the reality of it. Now, you're probably thinking, that's great, Chris, but help me go through the process of outlaying a whole bunch of cash to get a whole bunch of DVDs. Let's do it. And this includes Blu-rays and everything, right? Purely just DVDs and Blu-rays. So let's do a bulk scenario. And in this case, let's say I'm going to buy 4,000 DVDs or 4,000 Blu-rays for $1,400. Right? The expected revenue that this will generate if I'm selling them at $6 each, at $6, yes, we're jumped down way lower, is $24,000. Average cost of goods works out to be about 35 cents, and average time to sell, I've just taken, around 70 days. So let's break it down again. If you sell these, there is fees. So if you sell them all, there's fees of 0.17. $4,000 in fees, just crazy. Bubble mailers, right, it's going to cost 27 cents for the 4,000. All right, $1,080. Then we have all the postage stamps that's going to cost. So it's $2.20 times 4,000. Right, and then cost of all goods was $1,400. Right, there you go. Total expenses is $15,360 with a total profit of $8,640. This is how it happens. This is how you make money selling DVDs. Now, once again, it doesn't mean you're just going to list it today, you'll make this money tomorrow. There will be a period of time that you have to do in terms of waiting before it will sell. Now, the other things you can start to add to this is you can do promotions. You can sell them at $9.97 and then actually, have 15% off. Or you can do buy two, get one free. All these different varieties. Or if you buy a certain amount, you can add tracking. If we work this out, we could actually say that the lowest we could go is, jeepers, we could sell these at $3. Nah, $3.50? There you go. You could sell these at $3.50 each and still make a profit. And that is how people do it. It's really that simple. This is on paper. It's basic math, right? It's just obviously on paper it makes sense and it shows you the numbers right here. But the reality is, yes, it will take time. You're not going to sell these instantly. Of course, the cheaper you will. Of course, the cheaper you have them, the more likely they're going to sell. But there's so many factors in play here. You're competing against so many other buyers. You've also got to be thinking about your condition. Are they scratched? Are they not scratched? How long is it going to take to get to your customer? Have they purchased from you before? What's your feedback? When they search for the DVD, is it being promoted? How close is it to them? All these different variables. You just got to do the math. Make sure you cover your costs. But to think about that, you can outlay $1,400 and sell them at $6 and get $8,640 back into your pocket, or $24,000 cash flow. That's epic. Well, that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions, clarifications, chuck them down below. As I said before, if you do want to see how I send things, I've got a link down below. Also, if you want to get any of the padded mailers or any of the sleeves or any of the products that I've just spoken about, also some links down below. Appreciate you. Cheers.